This video today is perfect for you if you want to train chest and you don't know how. We're going to go through all the machines, all the exercises, and I will explain how I execute each and every rep to make my chest look like this. So today's a push session, and if you haven't checked out the previous ones before, check them out. Back is already online, hamstring is already online, and I explained every exercise I'm doing. Obviously my workout changed here and there, so now we're actually a few weeks out from a show. So we need to train really precisely, and I will explain how I do it to avoid losing too much energy and not creating an intense stimulus. So what we're trying to do today is as minimal energy output, but getting the best possible stimulus effect out from it. So chest, shoulders, triceps, and then we're done for today. Now enough talking, enough intro, time to get some work done. Hope you guys enjoy this one. Let's rock. So we're starting with exercise number 1, and obviously there's always a warm-up before we start the workout. Usually I warm up for each and every muscle group separately. So as we're training chest, we're warming up chest. Switching over to shoulders, we're gonna warm up shoulders. Switching to triceps, we're gonna warm up triceps. Later, we don't need a full warm-up because joints, muscle, and the whole system is already warmed up. So what we need to do is we need to feel how we move the weight in order to contract it correctly and stretch it correctly. Once that is done, we have the mind-muscle connection ready, then we can jump right into the working sets. So in order to explain what we're going to do, I like to keep my warm-ups as short as possible. In other words, I start with a low weight for 15-20 reps. We are increasing the weight straight away, so we don't stop. 10 to 12 reps, and every time we're getting a little bit heavier, we're getting a little bit slower and more controlled. That's the most important part. We should not lose muscle-mind connection by increasing the weights. Next step is a 5-rep warm-up set. Straight away, so we know we have no breaks in between. That's the important thing. This weight is almost working set weight, means as we're jumping into the very first working set, it won't feel that awkward and strange because we already moved heavy weights. Usually when you jump into the the first working set, it feels a little bit off because you didn't move the weight before. But in this short warm-up sequence, we already had higher weights, so our brain is already adapted to higher weights, what gives us a much more comfortable and strong feeling going into the first working set. Before we start the working set, this is what you need to go through. I honestly like to add some more stretches with a rubber band or a stretch on machines, whatever, just to get into it. But I would not recommend you to overstretch for like 20-30 minutes. That might lead to more injuries and less power output. Exercise number 1, obviously flies. And why flies? No reason. I usually switch between pec deck flies, dumbbell flies, cable flies. Now I decided to do cable flies. I did pec deck last week, so just to switch the exercise. It's not necessary, don't get me wrong. But what I focus on here is that I open up my chest. That's the most important part. As you open it up and you bring it together, this is what the chest is doing. The chest brings your arm into the center. This, like basically the fly movement. And that's the same thing for every press movement. As you go down, your elbow goes further out, and as you press, it comes back to the center. That's all you need to care about. Here, the higher we come in weights, the stronger we get, the more controlled it has to be. Especially here, as we go deep into a stretch, that's the most difficult position because now muscle is loaded with weight plus stretch. That's a really dangerous zone. So make sure you don't hurt yourself, don't rush the reps, stretch, squeeze, control. That's what it's about. Jumping right into exercise number 2, which is today incline chest press. Why? I want to load my upper fibers first before we target the entire chest. So in other words, we do an incline first and flat later. That might change, but now my focus is the higher fibers to make my chest look even bigger and more three-dimensional. As the upper fibers come up, it separates the chest more from your entire body. So what you want to do here is bring the handle as down as possible to get the biggest full range of motion. Now, that's the important part. You need to get familiar with 2 positions, the starting and the end position. As you get a good stretch and a good comfortable fitting position to sit, pressing upwards and feeling the tension, the contraction, and like almost a cramping sensation, these spots, they need to be guaranteed. These 2. And the way in between is quite simple to execute. What I focus on is that I bring my elbows out, and as I'm pressing them together, as I already explained, I'm bringing my elbows to the center. That way, we are targeting and activating muscle fibers almost the perfect way. The muscle fiber alignment basically goes from here to here. As you bring these points together, this creates stimulus, this creates movement, this creates contraction. 3 sets here, maybe 4, and I want to go as heavy as possible in these sets right here. Third exercise is obviously the flat press. Just to let you know, this machine here is outstanding. Maybe you can see it in the video. As I'm pressing, the handles turn in and outwards. As they turn back inwards, they push my elbows out. As I'm pushing inwards, it brings my elbows closer to the center, what contracts my muscle fibers even better. So, this is not a straight set. We usually did straight sets, 12 reps, failure, out. Here, we're doing rest pause sets. What does that mean? We're trying to do as many reps as possible until we fail or closely fail. We're waiting 5, 6, 7 seconds until we have breath, loading body with oxygen, jump right back in and try to get 4, 5, 6 more reps out. It's possible. It's hard. It's hard mentally, it's hard physically. But these additional 4 or 5 reps gives you an additional 4 or 5 rep stimulus. So here, this is the last chest exercise we're doing. We're gonna add dips, which is lower chest / triceps. But for chest alone, this is the last one. 3 exercises total, 3, 4, and 4 sets equals 11 sets. Perfect. We're gonna train chest twice a week anyway, 20 sets plus per week in total. Perfect. Split it into 2 sessions. The perfect way would be actually between 8 and 12 hard working sets twice a week. Perfect. So, what do we focus in on here? Pushing the back into the pad, driving the elbows together and far out, leaving my chest open, contracting the back, bring shoulder blades together, opening up the chest. This way, we are limiting shoulders to activate. As we're collapsing forward, shoulders might activate higher or more and bring more frontal activation with it. So I'm trying to pull it all the way back and press. That's all chest. Try it, you will love it. Let me give you a little analogy. This is how I try to explain it to my clients. We're comparing a heavyweight boxer, 250 pounds, with a Shaolin, whatever, 120 pounds. And we're comparing the punches. Usually a heavyweight boxer needs to create a lot of noise, a lot of energy in order to execute the punch, to hurt, to make impact. A Shaolin basically punches your face like this. The lowest amount of noise, the lowest amount of energy spent, but he gets the most out of it because he will hit right straight to your nose. So in other words, I'm trying to not waste as much energy, and I'm trying to use every rep to execute it in perfection, to get the most out, but we're paying the less. Sounds like a discount code. It is, quite a bit. So always think about the Shaolin. The Shaolin doesn't need a lot of momentum. He doesn't need a lot of noise or energy spent, but he makes the same damage. I mean, in reality, the heavyweight boxer might hurt you a little bit more because he's heavier, but I hope you understand what I'm trying to explain. So don't rush. Don't lose control. I think this is the most important part when it comes to muscle building. Everyone speaks about reps, sets, splits, workouts, but nobody talks about how a rep needs to look like. And then we're talking about multiple reps, what leads to a total sequence of like 12 reps, what we call being a set. Then we're talking about sets and total volume and all that, but we never talked about a rep. I want to make sure each and every rep is perfect, and then we can talk about multiple reps in a sequence, and then we can talk about multiple sets as a workout. This is how you should see a workout, I guess. This is literally my favorite shoulder exercise. Reason, quite simple. We can stabilize ourselves by holding us. Secondly, we have the cable, so the weight doesn't get like heavier and easier, and you know, it has almost the same resistance curve, which is amazing. Third, last but not least, we have the chance, and you can see that right here. Usually dumbbells, they stop right here because there's no tension anymore. As you lift the weight, it gets heavier and heavier. As I said, that's different with cables, but here we have the chance to overstretch the shoulder, and that kind of stimulus, that kind of stretch, that's what your shoulder never gets. And that's the deal. So what I like to do, bring the handle slightly lower than hip position, just like here. As you push your arm down, this is where it should be. Then step half a step back, bring your arm just slightly forward, bend it all over, stretch it into there, and that's the starting point. We're pushing the arm down to limit traps, and from here, we lift it up. Not too high, then we're losing control and tension. We're lifting it to the side, not up. It's like high-fiving someone to the side. Incredible, perfect exercise for side delts. That's the first one. We're gonna do a second one. But here, that's the main part. That's the bread and butter. That's how your shoulders get wide. Here, left and right. Second shoulder exercise for today, obviously shoulder press. Why? Because we already did a lot of presses. So front delt activation has already taken place, and I don't want to force my front delts to grow endlessly. So that's the end of the shoulder workout. I put more attention to the side delts to grow left and right. I believe that most front delt activation is already done as you finish training chest. So we don't need to put extra load on front delts. So here we have front delt activation plus side delt activation, both of them. So now, most important part, quite simple exercise. It's a basic. Try to keep your elbows under your hands. So don't press like this. Be aligned, because that's the way up. As you're pressing this way, you're pressing against the line of force. It makes it harder, it makes it more uncomfortable, and you don't hit the right muscle. As you bring the elbow under your arm in the perfect line, then all muscles work correctly. 3 sets here, straight sets, no fancy drop, whatever techniques. Then we're doing triceps. Let's work. By the way, I didn't tell you, if you guys follow me now on Instagram, I updated automatization. So as you follow me now, and the link is in the description below, you get a free workout protocol. My prep split, the Arnold 2026, is free. As you click, you get a message. You can click on the message, you go straight to my website, the code is already in, it's free, and you can download my whole split. You can try it out if you like it, if you like these splits. I got like 12, 13, 14 different splits on my website for $5. It's a split, all exercises, all reps, techniques, explanation is in there. So if you need some inspiration, this is where you can find it. Website mikesommerfeld.com or description below. First tricep exercise is dips, as you already talked about. Why? Two reasons. Reason number one, we're activating chest, lower part actually. To finish it off entirely, we trained basically all fibers. Flies, medium range, incline, upper, flat, entire chest, dips, lower chest. So all parts are covered, and no, there is no inner or outer part. The muscle fiber goes from here to here. We can separate between upper, middle and low, yes, but not inner or outer, not possible. Now here, I'm focusing on not being too straight, and I'm not bending too much forward. In other words, if I bend forward, I'm pressing more through my chest. If I'm more straight upwards, I'm pressing more through my elbows / triceps. So I want to mix it both. If you want to force triceps a little bit more, be more upright. If you want to force chest a little bit more, just lean into it a little bit. And I need to tell you, I miss my dad, especially in these exercises. We used to battle each other. That was actually the last tricep exercise we did. And that started with like 25 reps. I did 27, he did 28, I did 30. And then we tried to beat each other every set again and again. So Dad, if you see that, I really miss you, and I wish you could be here to train with me before the Arnolds. But he's busy in Germany. So Dad, love you, and see you very, very, very soon again, finally. I haven't seen him since the Olympia. All right, guys. As many reps as possible, 3 sets, in and out. Keep your rest shorter, and you will see that you start with 25 reps, you drop down to 18, you drop down to 12, and after like 8 reps, you're done. Then you can go back home, but we have another exercise for triceps to do, so enjoy dips. Finally, last exercise for today, and this is the last tricep exercise. Basic builder, tricep extension in a special way. I like to stand with my back against the machine to brace against it and get more stable feeling, so to say. The moment I press my back against the machine, I'm not moving back and forth. So I can lock my elbows in, and the only thing I need to do is push my elbows through. That's the magic. What I try to do is I bring my elbows back and then let the weight stretch it all the way up until we're almost 180 degrees. And from here we have the biggest range of motion, basically, to push all the way down. That's almost 180 degrees. Usually I see people doing this, press downs. So that's half the rep as you're leaning against the machine, and you can let it pull you up. That's so much more motion to contract your fibers, and the longer the way, the longer the range of motion, the more your muscle needs to work. That's the goal. Make your muscle work. Thank you very much for watching the video. I hope you guys liked it. I hope you can take something for you, some inspiration or some tips and tricks you like. Again, if you like to learn more about that, I teach that, all of that in the coaching. So go down the description below, check out, just text the WhatsApp number, get all the informations, ask questions, see what coaching is perfect for you. We have different models for athletes, competitive athletes, lifestyle and basic. So whatever you need, you will find it there. If you'd like to try out some splits are already listed in the description below. All discount codes, nasal strips, Recov cream, what really works well, I can show you. My pump is decent today. Proof. Great stuff. Amazing offers. Oh shit. Yeah, okay. Amazing offers, Vanquish, My Protein, all listed below. Don't forget, Yu-Gi-Oh! Will drop soon. Shinto dropped today, the Chinese, Japanese gods. I'm so sorry, I don't know if that's Chinese or Japanese. It's definitely not Korean, I know that. Enough talking, hope you guys liked the video. Press thumbs, few days before the Arnolds. We're trying to provide as much information and education as possible, but this right here is really tight. I'm just a few days out from a show. I'm really trying to produce good, nice videos for you. So I'm filming myself, I'm cutting myself, I uploaded myself. I hope you guys appreciate that. Leave some love and likes and comments and let me know if you like these videos. And then see you for the next one. Bye bye.
Cause I don't give a fuck what you say. Yeah, I'ma do shit my way. So you can go kick rocks, I'ma stack bricks up, build what I want to make. Yo, I got a lot of shit to say, so I'ma do this every day. I'll be writing things until I'm fucking buried in my grave.